Hey guys, Happy New Year. Hope your 2025 is off to a really good start. So we often get bombarded with obviously a lot of questions about the Isuzu brand, about the new vehicles, engine, power, performance, fuel efficiency. So what I've done is put together a bunch of FAQs, so frequently asked questions about the various Isuzu models, various topics around Isuzu, and today we're going to start with how well the Isuzus perform off-road. Right, question number one was, what makes Isuzu vehicles suitable for off-road driving in Zimbabwe? Now, the Isuzu brand has been in Zim and in other parts of Africa, Southern Africa, for decades. So they're tried and tested, they're strong, they're robust, they're very reliable vehicles. Obviously, from a model point of view, Isuzu builds the D-Max, like this double cab. It builds the MUX, which is a very capable SUV, and they're all built for African terrain. So they're built to withstand dirt roads, potholed roads like this one I'm on at the moment, and other forms of off-road driving. So as a vehicle themselves, the way they're put together, the bodies, the suspension, all that goes into it makes it very, very suitable for roads in Zimbabwe. Question number two, can Isuzu vehicles handle river crossings and steep inclines? Yes, 100%. I've done both in more than one type of Isuzu. Navigated a couple of river crossings, not only in a double cab but in an MUX as well. Handled it very, very well. Steep inclines, definitely. With the traction control you get in these new cars and their 4x4 systems that come with it, they are very, very capable of steep inclines and declines, descents. A lot of these new 4x4s come with hill descent control. Question number three, are there specific driving modes for challenging terrains such as mud and sand? The short answer is no. I know a lot of the newer, not so much newer, but some of the other 4x4 vehicle brands, your Range Rovers, some of your high-end brands, they come with the option to select on your 4x4 system the type of terrain you're on. So you can go from sand to gravel to snow to mud. To be honest, the Isuzu vehicles don't really need that. You know, that's a nice to have. You'll probably find that a lot of vehicles that have that level of flexibility or that level of ability to choose what terrain you're on, you'll probably find that a lot of it doesn't get used to its full potential. So the 4x4 systems on a 4x4 Isuzu are fairly simple. You've got your high range 2H, you can go into 4H on the fly, so 4-wheel drive, high range, and then you can flick into low range 4L, which works incredibly well on a bunch of different terrains. I've driven this particular car. This is the X-Rider in 4L through mud, through sand, and it copes very well. But keep in mind that if you are in thick sand or very, very, very thick mud, doesn't really matter what type of 4x4 you have, it's going to be pretty challenging. But yes, the Isuzus do perform really well in those sort of challenging conditions. Question number four, what off-road accessories can I add to my Isuzu to improve its off-road performance? That's like talking to a kid in a candy store. Basically, the world is your oyster. There are tons of accessories that you could add on to not only these new Isuzu 4x4s, but to a lot of other 4x4 vehicle brands. If you've heard of our 4x4 department, Autoworld 4x4, they specialize in off-road accessories, not only for the Isuzus, but also for other vehicle brands as well. But to narrow down a few to improve your off-road performance, Number one, look, it comes down to what you're going to do with the vehicle. If you're spending a lot of time in the bush on really bad roads, probably the first thing to do is upgrade your suspension. We offer the Ironman 4x4 suspension, which is an Australian brand. We fit them to a lot of Isuzus. They do lift the ride height of the car by a little bit, but they do just make that ride and the suspension and the handling just that much more tougher, so you can load up the back a lot more. You can really take that Ironman suspension off-road and have complete peace of mind when navigating really, really tough terrains. So your suspension might be the first thing. Other ways to improve your off-road performance might be changing the front and rear bumpers. Putting on a steel bull bar front and back can not only add more strength to the vehicle, but it can also improve, well, it will also improve your approach angles and departure angles. So if you are doing a lot of off-roading, a lot of steep inclines, in and out of ditches and gullies and all sorts, then improving and increasing your approach angle and departure angle with a bull bar goes a long way. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more you can add. A snorkel is a really good one to add, not for river crossings, not for water, but for dust. So if you spend a lot of time on dust roads, a snorkel is really advantageous because it helps to suck clean air up high. As you know, if you've been on a dust road, there's a lot of dust in front of the car, especially if you've got another vehicle in front of you. So your engine, to remain healthy, to keep healthy, it needs to suck clean air. That's the benefit of having a snorkel mounted up high near the top of your car. Right, last but definitely not least, question number 5. How does Isuzu compare to its competitors when it comes to off-roading performance? Now, I'm going to be very honest here. All these new vehicles, whether it's a new Isuzu 4x4, a new Toyota, a new Ford, they're all generally built really, really well. So from an off-roading point of view, they all perform really well. It comes down to, you know, the intricacies, the specifics of the brand, of the specific vehicle that make the difference. I've driven numerous different cars off-road. I've driven Isuzus a lot off-road. The previous 6th gen double cabs, the new shape 7th gen double cab I've taken off-road. I've taken the MUX off-road. I've taken this Isuzu X-Rider off-road, and what I can say is that every single Isuzu that I have taken off the beaten track has performed really, really well. Right, there you have it, the top 5 frequently asked questions about Isuzu with respect to off-roading. Tune in next week where I'll be answering another 5 frequently asked questions, this time pertaining to fuel efficiency. See you then.